This is a Dean Gordon Maris. Of all the guitars I've ever played, this one stands apart as an example of what's possible when a master luthier carefully and obsessively crafts every detail and specification of your dream guitar. And if you didn't know, Dean Gordon is part of a lineage of builders who started not with grand designs but with repairs. Just like Ken Parker, who worked as a repair tech before creating the Parker Fly, Dean spent years repairing guitars before he built them. And that experience shapes the way he builds. You can feel it in the neck, the fretwork, and the construction choices. And I believe that, like Ken Parker before him, Dean is making instruments that we'll eventually look back on as iconic. Luckily, Dean is also developing a more affordable in-house line, but today, we're diving deep into his most premium offering. My goal is to convey what this guitar actually feels like and why these obsessive small details actually matter. The first thing you'll probably notice is the unique body shape. While modern designs are often reserved for metal players, there's no reason why they should have all the fun, especially when the design is 100% functional. The generous belly cut provides exceptional comfort, paired with a precise forearm bevel that naturally positions my wrist at the ideal angle. I noticed that even if I'm playing string skipping lines or sweep licks, I barely have to move my right hand at all. And as the forearm bevel flows smoothly towards the upper horn, it deepens into an elegant carve. This carve serves as both a beautiful aesthetic detail and practical weight relief, giving this guitar its sleek, modern look. Dean's signature upper horn, fashioned from aluminum, creates a striking void between the neck and the body, granting uninhibited upper fret access. When it comes to upper frets, I'm a bit old school. I do big bends in chords, and this works perfectly for me. But those among you who engage in intricate sweep arpeggios and virtuosic high fret shredding, you may prefer the Virtus model, which has even more high fret access. Speaking of the different models, this is of course headless and it's a Maris. Both the Maris and the Virtus shapes come in headed and headless versions. One of the benefits of a headless guitar is its lighter weight, and if the body is designed correctly, it allows for multiple ergonomic positions like the one I'm sitting in right now. This little carve towards the rear of the instrument allows the guitar to rest on your right leg, which places the neck at the preferred 45-degree-ish angle. Again, this is my preferred playing angle, and if you look around, you'll notice a lot of other guitarists like this as well. Really, if you play guitar standing at all, this is the angle the neck is going to be at. Now, of course, we do have props that we can buy and use to help normal guitars get to that angle as well, but it's always nice when the body is designed with all of that in mind already. By the way, I always link all of those props below, and if you want a discount on the Perform X, that's also linked below. Now, of course, when you order your custom Dean Gordon guitar, you have your choice of pickups and wirings. I do think this single volume works well for this instrument. Very simple and minimalist, and it gets the job done. I'm also a fan of Dean Gordon's paint jobs. Not just this one, but literally everything he makes. They tend to be difficult to film, though exceptionally beautiful in person, and this one is no exception. I don't know the technical term to explain how the color changes when the light hits it from different angles, but it does that light color change thing. But now we move to the neck, and there's a lot to discuss here. Whenever I'm lucky enough to try a boutique guitar, emphasis on the word try, I unfortunately don't get to keep this guitar. Whenever I'm lucky enough to try a boutique guitar, I always learn something new, and this one was no exception. The lesson started with a question: why is this guitar so easy to play? When I say this guitar is easy to play, I truly mean it's one of, if not the easiest playing guitars I've ever experienced. You might be thinking, oh, it probably just has low action or jumbo frets. That's not the case. The action is actually pretty average. In fact, it's slightly higher action than my favorite carving guitar. And the frets are just standard medium jumbos, nothing flashy or crazy, though of course they are stainless steel and very high quality. The real magic here is the meticulous attention to detail in the fretwork, and there's two dimensions to that. First is the leveling from fret to fret and how well it matches the 12 to 16 inch compound radius. It's insanely accurate, and you can feel it as you play. And the result is a neck that feels astonishingly smooth and balanced under your fingers. Dean and I discussed this in depth on the Lifelong Guitarist podcast. I'll link that below. Also, if you love gear, philosophical guitar talks, and free lessons, you'll definitely want to sign up for my Lifelong Guitarist newsletter. It's an exclusive video audio podcast and article that gets delivered to your email every Saturday morning, totally free and linked below. But in the podcast, me and Dean spent a lot of time talking about his attention to detail on the fretwork, and honestly, it would be impossible for me to convey to you how this guitar actually feels, so I'll do my best with an analogy. I'm assuming you've all have been on a treadmill at some point in your life. You probably remember that setting that looks like hills. It's made to mimic what it's like to run up and down hills. That setting randomly moves the incline up and down to simulate running outdoors. And every time you hear that little beep beep, you're like, this is about to suck because it's going to start climbing again. Here we go. That treadmill setting wears you out, not just physically, but also mentally, because your body has to constantly adjust your form, pace, and posture on the fly. It's tiring. But then after that workout, when you get to a flat, smooth track, it almost feels like it's too easy. You glide over the land. And that's what this guitar neck feels like. Most guitars have little inconsistencies, one string a bit higher there, a fret slightly off, and we get used to it and compensate subconsciously. But then you play a neck like this, and your fingers don't have to do that anymore. It's just smooth terrain, and your playing flows without resistance. So in summary, reason number one is so easy to play is the fret leveling and finishing is extremely precise and accurate. But reason number two is the fret ends. Lots of YouTube reviewers lose their minds over perfectly rounded fret ends. Yes, it looks impressive, but let me be picky for a second. Frets have three dimensions: height, width, and length. When we glide our hand along the neck, we want that smooth, seamless feeling. And this smoothness mainly comes from rounding the width of the frets. But when builders round ends into a perfect little dome, you're also rounding off the height, which shortens the playable length of the fret. This can lead to your fingers and your high E string slipping off the edge of the fretboard. It's subtle, but it's real, and it can be really annoying. This guitar strikes a balance I'm not sure I've ever felt before. Its fret ends are perfectly and expertly rounded across the width without sacrificing the height and the playable length. I genuinely feel like I have more fret to play on near the edges, and a greater margin of error as a result. It kind of feels like when you're bowling with the bumper guards, or riding your bike on those famously wide bike lanes in Madison, Wisconsin. Simply put, it's a smoother, more forgiving, and altogether superior playing experience. Beyond the fretwork, the rest of the neck is also exceptional. The shape is familiar, a medium to medium thin C, and the back has a silky smooth satin finish. The fretboard itself feels like it's been sanded to an ultra fine grit. You barely feel any wood grain whatsoever. In fact, it almost feels synthetic in a good way. Finally, the fretboard edges are gently rounded, completing a truly flawless neck experience. And there's one last thing I noticed. This guitar just feels tight. The kind of tightness where every note rings out with precision. You press a note and it just snaps into place. It's hard to describe, but I think that also contributes to the sustain and resonance of this instrument. Everything about the guitar just feels solid. Now, talking about price, this guitar is of course expensive, but here's the thing, it's not even close to the top of the boutique price list. And yet, in terms of playability, build quality, and vision, it easily surpasses everything I've tried thus far. This is the type of guitar that redefines your expectations. You pick it up just thinking you're going to try something cool and modern, but when you put it down, you wonder if you'll ever be able to play a normal guitar again. It's not just a well-made guitar, it's a blueprint for what future high-end instruments should really feel like. And I think one day when we look back at this era of guitar design, Dean Gordon's name is going to be right there with the innovators like Ken Parker. Now, if you like this one, again, I don't get to keep it, but it is linked below for sale if you're interested, and I'm excited to see what else Dean Gordon comes up with in the future. I hope to show you more as well.